Hey everyone. So I wanted to come on here because, you know, I don't really talk about politics too much on this channel. I mean, but when I do though, obviously it does get attention. A lot of people do kind of, listen to what I have to say. They kind of invest a little bit in what I have to say. And, sometimes they'll give, replies and everything, and I appreciate that. But I wanted to come on here because, you know, yesterday, last night I should say, once again, we had one of the news outlets, this one out of the Bay Area, that's being KPIX. We had some of the news outlets basically talking about something that I pretty much when I hear about this, and I share this with others as well. When I and others hear about this, we basically have to roll our eyes and have to ask ourselves, what is this individual smoking? Okay, so the title obviously of the video, along with this, should tell you like what one of the subjects I want to talk about is. And that subject basically is the fact, the first one here, is we have this guy, I can't think of his name right now, but he has been for almost a decade petitioning, if you will, to get people to sign something. And what he wants them to sign is essentially, you know, I guess you could say some kind of registration that would allow for this decision to be put on the 2028 ballots. Not 2026, 2028. And what is it that he wants people to potentially get onto the ballots that he's been working on for almost a decade? How about the fact that he wants to get California to succeed from the United States? Yeah, he wants them to supersede or succeed, if you will, however you want to pronounce it, from the United States and be its own republic nation. Its own country, if you will. Which it was prior to the what was it, about the early to mid 1800s, It was basically its own nation prior to around the mid to 1800s, early to mid to 1800s. And basically this guy wants it to do it again. He wants the state, I should say, he wants the state to do it again. He wants them to be their own country, their own nation, and everything. And apparently he's been doing this, he's been apparently doing this, planning this for, God, almost, like I said, almost a decade. And what's funny is even when you have reporters, news outlets like KPIX reporting on it, and others, even KOVR here in the Central Valley, a lot of them, you could just tell the reporters when they report this, they're like, really? I mean, they're not going to come out and say it because it is news. And this guy has had some backing behind it, believe it or not. And this guy is obviously a big enough name, or at least a notable name, to want to, get this talked about and out there to the world. But even they, at these news outlets, are just palming their faces, not visually, but and not visually or figuratively, but not okay. Let me reword that. You have a lot of these people at these news outlets that are palming themselves figuratively, not visually, but figuratively, on the heads, like, again, we got to talk about this guy again. It's like what is this dude thinking? It's like, what is this dude thinking? Because let's be honest. What is he hoping to accomplish? Huh? What is he hoping to accomplish? That California succeeds in the U.S. What is that going to do? What is he hoping to? Because he's the one that made it happen. We're gonna as a country now gonna dub him king, dub him prime minister, or whatever. Is that what he's hoping for? Is that his goal? Like, oh, if I make this happen, these people will dub me the leader. It's like, no, no, that's never going to happen because this idea to succeed the U.S., or to succeed, I should say, from the U.S., is ridiculous. And even those that even those that they talk to that understand, that yes, it is possible for something like this to gain traction and everything. Even they that do a lot of research and pinpoint certain factors as to how it could work and how it could become a reality, even they, you could tell, are like, hey, give the guy A for effort, even though he's going to fail. He's going to fall flat on his face. Give him A for effort. But here's the thing, though. Even if, and they've mentioned this too, even if he finds a way to get enough, signatures to sign to get this on the ballot in 2028, and let's say it even passes, the vote, it gets, the okay. It's like, you know, it's gonna take more than just, it getting on the ballot and getting voted in and all that. It's gonna take more than that. Excuse me. And they've even pointed that out. It's gonna take more, than just it passing here in the state and all that, because from what I understand, it's gonna have to go through a lot more hoops. It is. It's gonna have to go through a lot more hoops because even if he succeeds in getting this all done and it gets voted on and everything, it's got to go to Washington. It's got to go to Washington, and then it's got to get put on a ballot there for like what, 2030, 2032. It's got to get put on a ballot there, and then the nation has to vote yay or nay for California to have the opportunity. They have to do that. And not just that either, outside of that, you also have the House and the Congress. You have the Senate, you have the House of Representatives that have to okay it, even if it gets as far as what they're hoping. So I don't know what this guy is thinking, that, but I think reality needs to slap him in the face that it's not going to happen. It never will. Look, just because you're angry at the fact that maybe your bid to run for president and all that, your plans to have a bid to run for president blew up in your face, or governor blew up in your face, doesn't mean you should basically be like, oh, I think we should succeed from the USA. No, it basically means get your grown-up pants on, put on your big boy pants, and just move on. Just grow up and move on. Because again, what is this guy expecting? Huh? What is he expecting if it all was to come to pass? Which it won't. Because it's such a ridiculous, dumb idea. And I think anybody watching this would agree, or listening to this would agree. It's such a stupid idea. What is he going to accomplish? What's his goal? Is it what I said earlier, that he's hoping they'll make him, our state as a country would make him king? No, it's not going to happen. He's out of his mind. He's out of his mind. I think even one of my cousins, when I shared this with some family, via text, even one of my cousins is like, yeah, this guy's cuckoo crazy. He has to leave. He has to go. I mean, it's like if, let's say, Ron DeSantis decided, not Ron DeSantis, but somebody in Florida, that might be close to DeSantis or have close connections to, the state government there. It's like if someone there decided, I want Florida to succeed from the USA. Really? You want Florida to succeed from the USA? You realize how many people would be against that? You realize how many people would be against that? I mean, look, I'm not denying that the guy here in California wouldn't get signatures. I'm not saying that. But I don't think people are that desperate, to want to be their own country and everything, just because they don't like who's running the country overall. I don't think people are that desperate, all right? I don't think they are. And again, it'd be like if somebody in Florida wanted to do the same thing. Nobody in Florida is going to want to do that, no matter what party, they swing on, whether it's Republican or Democrat, Independent, Grass Party. Nobody's going to want to do that because they know it's stupid, it's ridiculous, and it's not plausible. And even if all this comes to pass, even if all this was to happen, I guarantee you it will not happen in this lifetime. It will not. By the time the final pen to paper is done, or the final electronic check and signature is done, a lot of us will be retired, a lot of us will be passed on, a lot of us will be raptured, basically. A lot of us will be raptured, and part of that, the tribulation and all that, that is when this would go down, after we're all gone, because of that event. But it's not going, but his thing, even then, it's not going to. Because generations, that come after us, they're even going to realize how ridiculous and dumb this is. So no, I don't think it's going to happen. I think it's going to lose traction. And I think this guy's just going to have to give it up, be done with it. Because again, it's like anybody, and I'm sure all 50 states have somebody like this. I'm sure Nevada has somebody like this. I'm sure, I'm sure Nevada has somebody like this. I'm sure Kansas has somebody like this. Oklahoma has somebody like this. Texas has somebody like this. Michigan, Oregon, Washington. I'm sure every 50 state has somebody like this. Alaska, Hawaii. I'm sure all of them have somebody like this that basically wants their state to succeed from the U.S. Be their own country, be their own region. Really? How are you going to make that happen if, let's say, you're the state of Kansas and you succeed from the U.S., but yet all around you is the U.S.? That don't make sense. See what I'm saying? So I don't think this guy's going to get any footing. He might get some people to sign, and maybe he'll try to get, and maybe he might succeed to get it on the ballot, but but I think that's all he's going to get, because as soon as 2028 comes around, people are going to be like, yeah, this is stupid, it's ridiculous, we're not signing this, we're not voting for this. So, because I think even people will realize that even if it passes, it's going to take a long while for it to even become official. So, yeah, I think this guy really needs to basically cool his jets and just let the next 4 years come about, and maybe he might get his chance within the next 4 years or so to run for president, maybe run for governor next year. But if I'm him, I just put this whole have California succeed from the U.S., I'd put that to bed right now if I was him. But let me know what your guys' thoughts are. How do you feel about this idea? Do you think this guy might be, a few, Fruit Loops short of a bowl? Let me know. Comment down below, like the video, and subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications. Do all the things listed in the description. And until next time, guys, I will talk to you later. But let me know how you feel about this and how dumb and ridiculous this sounds to you.